It is indeed a pleasure to be here this morning to announce to you that the Prime Minister has just signed a grant financing agreement with the French government to address what may be a very long-standing issue troubling St. Lucians and visitors alike. On this note, I would like to introduce the French ambassador to perhaps give some more details.
I am very happy to be here this morning because when I just arrived in St. Lucia 6 months ago, Honorable Prime Minister asked me that he would like the French Agency of Development come back to St. Lucia because at the beginning, a few years ago, the French Agency of Development was in this country, had done many things, and he knows how they work, and he knows that they work among structural projects, which is the one we are discussing this morning. And Mr. Malpel from the French Agency of Development came here to investigate with Prime Minister and his services all what could be done, especially on the harbor of Castries and of the WASCO, who is involved in the amelioration of the situation of the port for the sustainable development. And we decided to give a subvention of French government from 100,000 French Agency of Development of 100,000 million euro. No, j'ai pas de bêtises. 100,000 euros, sorry. 100,000 euros for making the expertise of this project so that we can know exactly what is to do for ameliorate the situation and to create the conditions to have a harbor clean, and which is exactly what we want to do in the countries we have relationship. We want to, French government wants to have projects who are in the duration. You know, we are not interested in small projects. You know, that one shot. We like projects they are inscribing in the duration and they last a long time. And I think if we work after this study, which is just the beginning of the project, if it succeeds in this project, it will be a very interesting for all the projects of the conception of the city of Castries, and it is very most important for us. So I think now Mr. Malpel will give you more details about this project and what will be done. But I wanted to say that thanks to Mr. Prime Minister to welcome the French Agency of Development and us here this morning, and thanks to recognize that we try to do our best for the development of this country since the independence 35 years ago, and that's, I think, a very important project that we discussed this morning, and we signed this subvention. Thank you very much.
Well, it's a very great pleasure for the AFD to have had the opportunity to sign this morning this agreement with the Prime Minister. AFD used to be named Caisse Centrale de Coopération Économique in the past and has been a long-term partner of the St. Lucian governments for major investments such as the Millennium Tunnel, the Rodney treatment plant, the Choc to Castries main water pipeline, or a system of secondary roads leading to heritage sites, just to name the latest one. And the Prime Minister has requested to assist the government in addressing a very critical problem of the wastewater, which is at the moment just discharged in the harbor, is creating a lot of problems to the government. And the Prime Minister asked us whether we can help to solve the problem. So we have been able to answer favorably. And the first step is setting what we have signed this morning, which is we call it Project Preparation Fund. It's a grant which will allow the studies to be done, technical studies or feasibility studies in some cases, just to prepare the investment. It's not a study for the sake of a study, because we are actually project financiers. We are not study financiers. So we put money in studies only when we are confident enough that the project will be, at the end of the day, realized in the best approach, sustainable way, and everything would have been taken into account. So this morning, it's a very important day. It's the official signing of the availability of this study fund, and then the next step will follow. At this stage, you will understand that it's too premature to get into details, because discussions and study will have to go, but it will not take too long, and we will get to the end. And so, just to repeat, the pleasure for AFD to continue this long-term partnership with the government of St. Lucia, which will last again for many, many years, and the pleasure for AFD to help addressing this critical problem. And I would just like to add that the link to the problem of the wastewater discharge in the harbor, obviously there is in the background a broader problem of wastewater management in the country, and then everything which is at the moment taking place, the WASCO restructuring and so on, is part of the project somehow. And probably this will be also the opportunity for AFD to start a new cooperation with WASCO and the government into better management and development of water and wastewater investments, as we have done in the past in many occasions, and in very good cooperations with our other partners, financial partners, supporting the government and WASCO, such as the CDB mainly. Right, that's it, if you have any questions.
I think I need to start off by expressing my very deep thanks, first of all, to Ambassador Mousset, Ambassador of the French Republic to St. Lucia. As he said, I made a request some 6 months ago to invite AFD to visit St. Lucia to explore the possibilities of projects. And the ambassador reacted with alacrity. He reacted promptly. And I want to thank him profusely for making it possible for AFD to come here and once again to re-engage the government and people of St. Lucia. Mr. Ambassador, thank you on behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia. I want also to thank Mr. Malpel, the representative of Agence Française de Développement. He is based currently in Suriname, and we have been long-standing partners. He is so correct. AFD has contributed very significantly to the development of this country. Only Sunday I visited the Deville Bridge, and many of you may not know, but the roads in that Swazel community, leading, of course, to trails to the Gopito, were in fact financed by AFD. So too was the road leading to Debara in the north of the island, Babono. And as he quite correctly indicated, the 21-inch pipeline that assisted us to transmit water to GOSL was financed by AFD. So too, of course, was waste treatment at Rodney Bay. Then too, he mentioned the Millennium Highway. So they have been contributors to the development of St. Lucia spanning several years. Most important, there's always been a relationship of trust. And in these matters, trust is so very important, so very critical, because it means that they, on the one hand, can rely on the government of St. Lucia to confirm its undertakings, to carry out its undertakings. And in turn, we can rely on them to ensure that they contribute to the development of this country, because they know this terrain well, they know this country very, very well. And again, I thank them. Now, there's another reason why I have to express my thanks. All of us know that these are difficult times, difficult economic times, not easy. We have major challenges, major issues to deal with. And attracting finance at this time is not the easiest thing. The entire Caribbean is an area where there is hesitation to provide. financial assistance and support for all kinds of things. And so when AFD can come to our assistance at this time, it is certainly very welcome. You may notice that we have with us this morning a representative of WASCO. We should have had a representative of SLASPA, because this project that we are talking about is going to involve several agencies. It's going to involve WASCO. It is going to involve SLASPA. Why? Because we are dealing with the very troublesome issues of the discharge of wastewater into our harbor. This has been a big issue, not just for St. Lucians, but for visitors to our country. And it has been a source of continuous complaint over the years, justifiably so, because it defies logic that at this time in our development that we should have such open discharge of wastewater into our harbor, the harbor that receives all of our major tourist ships. So there is no doubt that this has been an issue that has required resolution. But there's another more important reason why we have to deal with this problem now. Some of you will know, all of you will know, that under consideration is the transformation of the Castries port. The developers have made it absolutely clear that we need to resolve the issue of wastewater into the harbor before they can consider their investment. It's a precondition. And so if we have to pave the way for that investment, then we need to deal with that problem decisively. And this is why the contribution by AFD is so critical at this time. As Mr. Malpal explained, the grant of 100,000 euros at this stage will go towards financing the numerous technical studies that will be required so that we can know how to deal with that problem in a very decisive way. There have been other studies in the past, but those studies have never been brought to a conclusion. And so we are in a situation where we can make use of modern technology, where we can make use of the studies in the past, but also apply new techniques, new methods to dealing with the problem that we have. So I want to once again thank the French government, thank AFD for responding so very, very quickly. And I sincerely hope that together we would be able to resolve what has been a burning issue for the people of St. Lucia, as well as visitors to this country. So I want to thank all of you for being here this morning, and I look forward to the findings of the technical reports that will eventually pave the way to deal with the problem that we have. Thank you very much.